Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we doing? We are, 1395? And I'm carrying on. I've rebooted the browser because it's getting my tit ends with its lags and not showing you guys the arrows. You pay good money to see those arrows, and it was cheating you out of arrows. Okay, got opponent rated 1325. Of course, we're going e4. I've had my breakfast. I've got a belly full of beef mince and a bit of extra lard in there. And we're going to go with our Vienna. I'm learning this Vienna G3 thing, 3G3. In fact, I think more or less whatever they do, you can play G3. Yeah, I could have gone for the gambit. Yeah, huh. But it feels like nowadays everyone's telling everybody to play the Vienna gambit and everybody knows to play D5. Okay. You want to give up your bishop? Do it. I double dare you, mother figure. Okay. See, now my bishop also defends e4, which is nice. Next move is probably knight GE2. As opposed to knight CE2, because knight CE2 can legally also move to E2. If this pawn was here, then the notation for this would be knight E2, NE2, because this one would not be able to go there because it would be putting in check, so you don't have to specify. So chess notation has now become very concise and accurate, as opposed to, what would this be? This is king's knight, King 2, Knight King 2, or, yeah. In the old money. Now he's having to think. Flauto di grondaie. Flauto might mean flute of grondai. Okay, so I'm going to recapture with the B pawn. I'm quite satisfied. This is defended. D3 will come, maybe even D4 at some point. My knight is headed for E2. Now I should consider the possibility of knight F3, but then that could walk into this bishop pin, right? Whereas if knight E2 and he gets any funny ideas, I have F3. So I'm gonna put my knight on E2. The other thing about knight E2 is it supports an eventual F4 break as well, as will my rook after I castle short, because my rook will be on F1, then F4, and if he takes here, I'm going to have many choices. Okay, well you can't go there, and you can't go there, and you can't really go there. So I might, do I want to do this now? But then what you have to say to yourself, right, every time, if he puts his bishop there, then I can do that. And then he has to waste another turn. So it's actually better for me not to prevent that move. See, why put your bishop there? I mean, obviously he couldn't put it there and he couldn't put it there. But if he was headed for this diagonal, he'd have gone there anyway, right? So why does he put it on this square? Well, the only place he can go is C4. But if he goes to C4, I'm just going to kick you. Kick your little bishopy body, and off you go. Grondaie. That is a word I do not recognize. A bit chilly here. So I'm going out later on. I'm going to try and get myself a lamp. Because apparently you're not a real chess streamer unless you've got like neon lights and like purple and pink behind you, or green or blue. You've got to have the full Tokyo experience going on in the background. So maybe I'll play better chess if I get myself a lamp to go behind me. Plus I did have a lamp here as well that I stole out of the living room, and my missus has made me put it back. Got a little bit of black tea. She makes a pot of tea in the morning, but then she's gone to work, so I thought I may as well finish up the pot of tea. I'm not going to put any fresh tea bags in it, of course. Don't need the caffeine. Yeah, the dry fast, boom, completely blown out my caffeine addiction. Insane. Which is useful. We talked about that on our coaching call this morning. So I also have a group that we meet 3 times a week. It's called the Big Fat Tribe. And it's an offshoot of the Big Fat Challenge. And if you would like to lose a bunch of weight, if you would like to address perhaps any autoimmune issues, come along to thebigfatchallenge.com. It's a 90-day challenge. And it's all about fueling your body properly, nourishing your body properly. And that means, and I know it upsets some people, it means eating your ancestral human diet, your species appropriate human diet, which is the meat and fat of large animals. Supplemented with fish, shellfish, small game, fungi, and maybe some soft fruits in season, maybe some nuts in season. But the best, healthiest way that you can fuel your body is the way your ancestors did it. And boy, if you had to survive an ice age outside of the tropics, or even inside the tropics, but that's another story. You have to hunt. There's no way around it, and it has to be large animals because they have more fat. Anyway, so black castles, and he spent 2.5 minutes on that idea. Okay, first thing I should consider is pawn f4. If he takes me, I can take with a knight. I don't really want to open up this rook. Now, one thing you have to get used to in this style of Vienna is you don't have your bishop on this diagonal, right? So this pawn is very often pinned in regular Viennas. This is a whole different thing. But I think the whole idea of this opening is to break with f4 at the right moment. The question is, when is the right moment? The answer is, I don't know, because I'm no expert. Now, if I was to push d3, look at this, and then I put my pawn here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. This also takes out the square away from that bishop, which we've discussed before. I don't have to do it, but now I have double reason. But do I need to open up the bish? I mean, my bishop could go to a3, for example, right? Pinning this pawn on the rook, and actually making this pawn, in a sense, capturable, even though I'm not attacking it yet. But that puts extra pressure on f5. If I was to do this, you'll kind of have to take. Is there any benefit in d4 now? Let's also consider that. And this is how you improve. The first step to improving. Number 1, slow your ass down. So you don't see, so you catch blunders and stuff before you make them, catch your opponent's blunders and stuff like that. And people who watch I've got a video called tips for 400 to 500 rated players who keep saying, I'm in that range and my opponents never play. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You have to slow down and spot the mistakes, right? Now here, let's say he takes, let's say I take back. I have a nice center. This pawn is defended by the bishop. So here, takes, right? Or just here straight away. Or d3 first. See, I may want to reserve the right to push d4 as well. Here, takes. That means that these pawns are off the board and my pawn is on this square, right? And I'm kind of threatening to push forward and harass the bishop, which again can't come here. So is it d4? This is one of those areas where you really should leave yourself a note when you're playing to say, move 8 white. Which is the right move? And then go back and then use the engine. Okay, I'm gonna, because honestly, I don't know. But I know that if he takes here, he's capturing away from the center. and then I can recapture, and then d4 will come with some punch to it, right? Because he's got no answer to it then. And lo and behold, I have a massive centre, which has to be good. Then my bishop could still sneak around that way. So if he takes, I think I'm going to take with the knight. I mean, taking with a pawn is also an idea. Towards the centre, get my king on h1 probably, and start to attack down the g-file. That is an idea that I've already seen in this opening. And this is really where it does pay to look at high-level games in the opening of your preference. Then you may learn. Okay, well, he's attacking my knight. Now, I could defend. I could play bishop f3. If he takes, I'll take that with the rook. I'm kind of meh about that. I could just push d3 here. I could shut the door on the bishop and clamp down on these squares. Which also might prevent the move g6. Well, it doesn't prevent it, but it might de-encouragize it. I'm kind of liking that idea. If I take, he has to take back with this pawn. I'd rather he took. I'd rather he take. I'd rather he take. I think there's a subjunctive there. Somebody commented on the accuracy of things. Obviously, the word de-encouragize is not actually in the dictionary. We know this. Somebody said, thank you for your correct use of fewer versus less and stuff like that, but I'd rather he take. So, what to do? I'm kind of liking d3. d4, though, is getting played. Big bada boom. Look at that centre. I've got a set square. I've got a Pythagorean centre in the middle of the board here. Oh, there should be a Pythagorean setup, shouldn't there? How sexy would that be? Takey, takey. Yeah, I don't want to take. You've got to consider, like, how does it look? They're there, and then my pawn's under pressure. I don't really want to take and trade queens. Nah. Fellow Milad here is somewhat undeveloped. Yeah, I mean, he's got one minor piece to get out, but so have I. But then I've got a bada boom going on in the centre. So the way I'm feeling right now after this thing is I just described. So yeah, we have these 3 coaching calls, like 7 a.m. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Wednesday, and then another one 7 a.m. Friday morning, and we have a Q&A every Sunday as well for people on the challenge or people in the tribe. So the tribe is like this ongoing membership thing. So the way I described it this morning is poised. I just feel like in balance, you know, which is really good for the chess, I declare. All right, so I think this looks like a decent move here. He's developed a piece. He's got double pressure on there. Now, I have 1, 2, 3 defenders. I could add bishop e3. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not blocking anyone's defense of e4. I think this, take. Why the hell not? That looks perfectly good. I could put the question to this bishop with pawn h3. But then he takes, my queen takes. Again, I'm feeling fairly comfortable there. I do not want to push this pawn in the middle, although it may come with tempo. No, I don't see it. I'm going to play this. some moves there are only a few considerations. In some moves there are many considerations. And I'm really getting into this what is it? Just the practice of my knight is pinned, by the way. Of trying to layer in more, bring in more considerations, right? Make real multi-purpose moves on every move if I can. Okay, now what this prevents now is bishop h3. Also prevents pawn h3 because he can take, I recapture, I lose the pawn, okay? But I can now shut the door with f5, and that's rather tempting now. Yeah, he has completed development. This is move 10. He's completed development by connecting his rooks, right? I've yet to complete development because queen is still on the back rank. But f5 now. And this bishop is now looking stuck behind enemy lines. d5, yeah, arguably. And we know the knight can't go there or there or there. And he's not going to go back there, and he'll probably end up here. And then he'll probably move into a defensive role. I think right now that knight isn't great. So why do I want to encourage that knight to improve his position in life? I don't. So f5. I just like it. I like the fact that we're shutting Queenie out more than anything else. Like, you trade this off whatever, you know? There. This pawn is defended, so should he take, I take back with pawn. Okay, so clearly he's going there. Now I have queen d3, stops him going there. If bishop takes here, I defend there, and I'm still looking at d3, so what's the idea of knight c4? It's to take up my dark squared bishop. I decline to acquiesce to your request. Name the film. No, I am disinclined to acquiesce to his request. Very poetic English. So now h3 kind of forces the issue. He simply can't go back there because I have g4 and the bishop is lost. Lost, all is lost. So if h3, he has to take here. I shall take back. Huh. h3 and h4 are sensible replies to this move. h4 forces the issue. He pushes, I take, and the knight, I think, then has to retreat. h3, I'm just preventing him from coming forward, because then I can just take with either pawn. In fact, he's prevented from coming forward anyway, so do I even need to sweat at all? If I push h3, takes. If I move my knight out of the way and then push h3, he's got an issue, hasn't he? So, for example, for the sake of argument, knight c1. Knight c1, and then here I think we're practically trapping the bishop. You can't go there because of bishop, queen, rooks, or rook. So knight on c1, pushes there, just take it. Knight c1. Right, so the idea is to trap the bishop. Trapping a minor piece is a lofty goal and a worthwhile achievement if you can do it. Question is, does Flauto di Grondaie spot the threat? I'm covering all of these squares. Okay, he's coming after my bishop. I'm not worried about you going there. So if I do this now, the knight's only looking at dark squares, so it doesn't help the bishop, right? If it goes here, rook takes, that changes nothing. There, if he takes here and I recapture, I declare the bishop is still trapped. So that, my friends, is what we are going to do. And bishop h5, he no work. Because you are going to lose the bishop anyway. You take the bishop, meh, whatever. I shall instantly recapture, because then you're looking at my rook, and you ain't having my rook. Right, and if I get to take the bishop, look, we have a semi-open h-file. My king will progress swiftly to f2. My knight shall return to its post. My rooks will then... and pawns, and I'll have a pawn... Oh, hello. Right, so this changes nothing at all. I mean, I can come here. He can come back there and hit the queen again. But I can then come here, can't I? I believe so. He shall go here. I come here. He's still attacking the bishop, and he can't harass my queen any further. So I think that was a vain attempt. Oh, hello though. Hello though. But that surely just hangeth the knight. Oh, well, it's a thought. Okay, so let us take stock. Ooh, look at these bishops now. So I'm inclined to lift the rook and send it towards h2. Another idea is to bring the bishop back. But why? Because I have this and this, so that. And I am up a piece, but for 2 pawns. So this is by no means a winning situation. I think my opponent, this was like a desperado idea. So he took a pawn, lost a knight, took another pawn. So he's managed to find a way, to his credit, to get 2 pawns for his lost piece. Okay. And which are those pawns? Well, it's the one from the e-file and the one from the h-file, effectively, because that's where we haven't got pawns no more. This, I don't like. This is quite likely to come at some point. Now this is going to come with venom, I'm hoping, at some point in time. We might even have bishop h6 sack ideas. Rook's going to come here, king almost certainly to f2, where it can't really be checked. Rook to here, king to there, queen is coming round. This pawn is doing a fine job of keeping the dame out of the game. That was a rhyme. I'm spitting rhymes now. Okay. Fuck's the point of that move? I'm just going to proceed with my plan. I've got 6 minutes on the clock. Flauto's down to 6.5. But the pressure is all on black right now. Okay. Good job back here then. If he takes, I'll take with a pawn. That then threatens the knight. The knight will go there. I have maybe queen g2. Takes, oops. Takes, queen takes. Oh yeah, that's got to be better, hasn't it? Surely Temple. Surely McLean. Yeah? Because that comes with a checkmate threat. Which will almost certainly prompt g6. Okay, and now I'm thinking about maybe knight d3 as well to try and trade the knights off too. He might have ideas of this, but first of all, you have an immediate issue. That should be top of your list. Things to do, urgent. Okay. Was this a concession from black? I have queen h4, obviously, which might prompt this then. Then if I take, I think I should put, well, I've got to move my queen anyway, so come on, let's do it. This is still fine, this is still on. He can't take here, because bishop takes, and I've got to be a bit careful about my king, and also I'd love to bring in my other rook. Okay, alright, that's interesting. Okay, so he's defending against this. Now, I have ideas. This is opened up lots of dark squared holes. Lots of errors. There. Bishop here. It's got to go there. Let's put the issue to this knight. He could go there. And if he attacks my bishop, I think my bishop's going to fly in somehow. This rook, I think, has to move to there. Otherwise, I've got queen f6. And it's all looking a bit ropey. Okay, so there we go. I want to get my king off. But maybe don't put it on a square where it can be checked. So it might be king f2. Also, it means the knight can't harass it from there. If I go here, he's also even got this, potentially, although the bishop covers. But I think maybe then king g2, rook ah1. And we're just going to smash the doors in here. So I think he needs to do this move. Then it's immediately king g2. I can't see a problem with it, yes. Rook ah1. And now we're going to turn the screw now. I'm 20 seconds behind on the clock. But I have all the initiative. The knight is impotent. He might swing around here and start to sniff around this pawn, but I'm like, why did I go there? I said I wasn't going to go there. Having said that, maybe you might argue that the queen has just actually weakened the king's defences. She could come in here, try and trade herself off. Ooh, then after takes. That comes with check as well and wins the knight, so I've got to be a bit careful there. Have got to be a bit careful. That is a losing... Okay, so yeah, like I say, if I take pawn takes and the pawn attacks the knight. Queen attacks the knight here. My queen is threatened, but so is that rook. Ouch. And I did not even see that. How long has that been on the cards? Since the queen moved. And I didn't spot it. Your love for the halflings' leaf has slowed your judgment, my old friend. No, it's not Darth Vader, it's Saruman. Bless him. Christopher Lee. You would like to chat? Yeah, GG. Yeah, GG, mate. Well done. And game over. All right, we're going to check that in a minute. Yeah, Christopher Lee. Bless him. Met Tolkien. Read Lord of the Rings every year since it was published in about, was it 1955? Read it every year. Tolkien personally said that that he personally approved Christopher Lee to play the role of Gandalf. Christopher Lee desperately wanted to play Gandalf in the films, and it went to Sir Ian McKellen. Too bad. Anyway, I will see you on the analysis board. Here we go, removing the names to protect the innocent. 26 moves. Place your bets. Roll up, place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, please be in the 80s. No! 76. And a blunder.
I made a blunder. Oh my goodness.
1650. Well, okay. Okay, so the point here is that is not bad news. What that is saying is there's something to learn. There is something to learn in this, so let us proceed. Bookity bookity book. Ooh, that's good, but see when it says good, it means Okay, bishop takes is excellent. Are you saying d takes? Oh, okay, 0.08 of a pawn. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Again, another good move. That's excellent. Best move here. D3. Hi, well. And that is unfortunate error. Now, I have looked at a couple of games where white just really holds back on castling. Okay, this I need to understand. So if he was to take here, G takes, the center is mine. My king is kind of naked, but then he castles, then so do I. And we've said king h1, you know, with no g-pawn. That ain't the end of the world, because the lack of the g-pawn is also an attacking kind of route as well. It's a direct file, man. I don't know, but I mean, it's by no means clear. And then d3. I mean, this is spicy. Feels good. Okay, so definitely want to remember. So I castle, he castles, that's the miss. Should have played queen d7, okay. Now okay, this is good news. We talked about this for a long time. Do you remember? Yeah, because we also talked about this. And that looks like at least an inaccuracy, because black is slightly better if he finds this. Anyway, it can't decide. It doesn't know what it thinks of that move, but it's minus 0.25 because we're creating an awl, a lovely awl for this bishop. All right, that is actually an outpost after this move. So this move, and do you remember that I kept saying if this bishop comes here, we can push d3, and I kept saying I'd like to reserve the right to push d4 at the appropriate time, but this is the correct move. Okay, only slightly better. Only slightly better. And he finds the best move, bishop g4. Excuse me. Now d4 is an accuracy. It's saying, put your rook on there and attack this pawn. What are you thinking? It didn't like d4. So what else is there here? No, sorry. h3, playable, because the queen is not backing up the bishop, not on this same diagonal. Rook b1 still. And d3, I played d4, which the fish goes, that's a bit gung-ho even for my liking. Knight c6, excellent move, I thought it was a good move. Bishop e3, not great, should have taken in the centre. That's now inaccurate, and that was inaccurate. I like that move. Knight a5 is mistake. Okay. Oh. Again, actually. So very, very even. I mean, look at this. So we're not going to see, ain't no big swings. Where are we now on the graph? Yeah, no big swings. I keep getting like a slight edge. And I kind of let it slip a bit. Okay, that's a mistake. And a great move. Look at that. Okay. So spying the trapped piece. Okay, so this little plateau here is our winning the bishop story, and then in the next chapter comes a blunder. But that, and the computer figured it out, threatening to win a bishop. Black did not realise, and that's a great move. So there's two great moves in succession. Attacks queen, gives up knight. Best play there. Okay. Huh. All right. But anyway, this is what happened. And that's my blunder. Why? Because this? I don't see it. Show me. Oh. Of course. Two attacks on that pawn. And he does take. And I play this. which was not the best move. So my opponent played 1400, 1650 for me. Should have traded. I just didn't want to wake his queen up. Okay. And that's a great move. And that is a mistake. I mean, it looks perfectly natural, right? That, and black even has the edge here. Wow. But you can show, you know, in the intermediate level, it comes down to fine margins. Really does. Okay, knight d3's best move here. And that's a miss. There's a hard to find move. Show me. I don't even see the huge benefit in this position, but looks like black's okay here. Yeah, I'm a pawn up. So anyway, it didn't like that. Now, what he's done here with this, you've got to be very careful. He has disconnected his rooks, okay? Now, the computer says it's the best move. Looking at the analysis, rook fe8 is half a pawn worse, okay? This was the best move, but you have to be cognizant that you've disconnected your rooks. That's a mistake, queen g5. Again, we're talking about, you know, a pawn either way. This happens at the top level, and that's just, yeah. Yeah, king g1 was better, because I've... Ooh. King g... No, hang on. King g1. Yeah, I don't really see that either. Because with this, he has rook e8 and gets his rook out of trouble. So what's different about king g1? It's everyone lives to fight another day, and then this was just a game-losing blunder, and all he's got is block in there. Wow. But you know, that is how games are won and lost. That's how games are won and lost at the grandmaster level. It comes down to who makes the second to last mistake. You know, who makes the worst mistake? Sloppiness. So I'm really appreciating the importance of maintaining that concentration throughout. Not getting overexcited, keeping up the pressure, build it up. That was not an impeccable game for me. And the computer did not approve all that much, but I was never really worse. And that is a small victory in itself. It didn't like my opening. It thought I was meh in the middle game. And it gives me 1650. But that is higher than my regular rapid rating. Although, you know, I really feel like I should be aiming at 1800 with the level of my play at the moment. So it's below how I've been performing on the whole. But the point is, as I always say, it's a learning opportunity. Yeah? You have to take the lessons, right? It's sweet to win, but it's also sweet to suck sometimes as well. And on that bombshell, I'll leave you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.